Hey there, welcome to another episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Tonight I'm going to show you how to make fried salmon with creamed mushrooms. Here's what we need. It's a pretty easy one to make. You can serve it with, because you're serving it with lettuce, you can keep going with the lettuce and serve it with salad, or you can do it with chips or potatoes or veggies, whatever you want. Anyway, come on in and I'll show you what we're doing. Okay, so as well as the ingredients list, we're also going to need something to make our sauce in. So a medium saucepan, something to fry our salmon in, frying pan obviously, and a couple of stirring sticks and spatulas and stuff. So let me talk you through what we've got. Okay, so we've got 25 grams of butter. I haven't weighed that out yet. 3/4 of a cup of flour, that's plain flour, 75 mils of liquid from the mushrooms, so that's from the tin of mushrooms. I have not measured that out yet, and just so you know, 75 mils is just short of 1/3 of a cup. So if you haven't got a measuring cup with 1/3 of a cup, it's just short of 1/3 of a cup. 75 mils of water. That's how I can tell you that, see? Just short of 1/3 of a cup. 150 mils of single light cream in there. Salt and pepper. I've got my salt and my grinder pepper. 1 to 2 tablespoons of dry sherry. I use semi-sweet. I don't think it makes much difference. 250 grams of canned mushrooms cut into quarters. Now, when I drained it, it also advised that it was going to be about 4 cups. That's only 2 cups. So, don't think we get many mushrooms out of that. So, just so you know. 6 salmon steaks at 225 grams each. I asked my butcher if he could do salmon steaks. He said he could. These are salmon fillets, but they look really good, so I'm happy either way. 1/2 cup of oil. I'm going to use olive oil. 1 lemon, which we're just going to slice up to serve it with, and lettuce leaves, which is just serve it on some lettuce leaves. Alright, so grab your saucepan, grab your frying pan, and let's go. Okay, so I've got 27 grams of butter. I'm pretty sure 2 grams is not going to make a difference. And I lied, I'm using a smaller saucepan, not a larger one. So, follow me and my magic butter and let's go. Alright, so we have got the small saucepan. Put it onto a high heat because we want to get it melted quick, and grab that stirring stick that we was talking about. When this is melted, we need to add 4 tablespoons of that flour that we had. So we're not using the full 3/4 of a cup in this, we're using nearly all of it. So in the meantime, we're going to spray the frying pan. Now you could probably hold off on doing the salmon steaks just until we've got the sauce nearly done. However, if you are going to be doing chips as well, I would probably recommend that you get them on now because they're going to take a little bit of time to do. I might cook chips, I might not, just depends on how I'm going. Alright, so once that's melted, we're ready to roll. I'm just going to try and clean up a few things as we go, because I really hate having a lot to clean up. Alright, how's my butter going? Don't watch the butter because it'll never melt. So with the rest of the flour, you're going to want something that you can dust the salmon with. So grab one of the tin plates, or just a normal dinner plate even, just something that you can put that onto. I'm going to measure out the mushroom juice now and the water, because we need that pretty soon. The sherry I'll bring over when we need it. Alright, so this is basically how you make any sauce. You melt your butter and then you put your flour in, and it's a roux. I believe it's pronounced roux. It's R-O-U-X. See how we've got it bubbling? Then we want 4 tablespoons of the flour. Even using a whisk at this time would be a good idea as well, because that way you don't get your lumps in it. So, whisk it. You can lift it off the heat if you want, but just make sure that you've got no flour visible and it's all melted. As you can see, it is. Alright, so give that a good stir. And then we want that mushroom liquid in. And we want the water. Now you might feel a bit more comfortable with a whisk at this stage, but we'll see how we go. Very soon I'm going to grab that, not the flour, the cream, and get that in as well. But we just want to make sure that it's a nice smooth sauce, not a paste, and not lumpy. No one likes lumpy sauce. You can lift it off the heat again. See how smooth that is? It looks like cheese sauce. I can reassure you there's no cheese in this yet, and there won't be any either actually. Alright, so in goes our cream. Give that another real good stir. I always like to make sure everything's really well stirred in after each addition. Sauce making can be easy, but it can also be time consuming as well. Put it this way, it's very quick to make, but you can't turn your back on it. So you just really need to be on top of it. You don't want it lumpy. It's a bit lumpy at the moment. The only lumps that are going to be in this sauce are going to be the mushrooms, of course. Alright. Now some of the lumps, you can actually push them against the side and that will help them to break up. Alright. Feeling a bit more confident with that one. Alright, how's your sauce looking? If you want to give up on the stirring stick, you can grab your whisk, which I might just do for the moment, just because I want to make sure that everything's all broken up. Alright, I feel a lot more confident now that I've just done that. Alright, so that we are going to cook for 5 minutes before we add the salt and pepper and the sherry. So turn that down to a really low heat. While that's going on, we're going to get started on the salmon. So follow me back to where the salmon is. Okay, so on this plate that we have here, we're going to add the flour. Okay. Now just before we do that, just keep an eye on the sauce, because I really don't know why it needs to cook for 5 minutes before we put everything else in, and I don't want it to burn. So what I am going to do is I'm going to get that 1/2 cup of olive oil nice and hot so I can get the salmon started. Now, I don't think I told you at the beginning that this serves 6, but it does serve 6. So in my case, I'm going to have 4 of them going in the freezer. I'm going to lift the sauce off the heat because I think all it's going to do is end up burning and thickening and be horrible. So we will get back to that shortly. All right. Let's have a look at these salmons. Okay, so we're going to dust them with the flour. These look really good. He's done a good job getting me some really nice pieces here. So there is such thing as a salmon steak, and they're actually round. These are really good ones, so I'm very happy with this. So just dust them, and then we're going to go pop these in. Okay, so the salmons are in. We're going to pop some salt and pepper into our sauce. I'm just going to put that back on there now. It's very thick sauce. And then we're going to add a little bit of sherry. Now, I would recommend that you don't add 1 tablespoon, but you add 2 tablespoons, because we want a bit of a juice here, because we're going to cook it for a bit longer. And I feel like this sauce can burn very quickly if we're not on top of it. Simmer for a further 10 minutes. Add the mushrooms and heat for 3 minutes more. Okay, well, I'm going to put that back on 1, which 1 is super, super low. Alright, it was a waste of flour because there's so much flour left over. But anyway, it's not like I can use it for a cake once it's had salmon lying in it. I can reassure you of that. Okay, down goes that. Alrighty, so if you got salmon steaks, they will be round. These are good because they fit in a lot easier into the frying pan. I do have an electric frying pan, which is actually a rectangle, and it's really good for doing that sort of thing. I haven't used it for a while, but I probably should have thought about it for that. Just because that way then it can spread out a little bit. Alright, so while this is going on, you're going to cook the salmon a few minutes on each side and just keep turning it. At the moment it's currently a orangey colour. When it's cooked it will be a pink colour and it will flake easily. So next step is to cut up the button mushrooms that were in the can. So I'm going to go do that and I'll be back. So just keep an eye on your sauce, your salmon, and get your mushies. Okay, so I've sliced up the mushrooms. The sauce looks more than happy to have them in now, so in they go. You want to just cook that through for another 3 minutes. Salmon I've just turned over a while ago. So I'm just going to turn it over again. Tongs are probably not the best thing for turning this, and because they're pretty thick pieces, you want to just be a bit careful. But that is looking really good so far. Beautiful. All right, so keep going. Okay, now at this stage, I would advise that if you are freezing any of these, that you remove them now. Otherwise, they're going to be too overcooked before you're ready for them. So I have one lonely little salmon swimming no more, and that's looking pretty done as well. So I'm going to get ready to dish up, and in the meantime I've actually decided to chuck some chips and some onion rings in the air fryer. So I will plate up without those, and I'll see you soon. Okay, so the sauce is really, really thick, but should be okay though. I think the idea is so that you can actually spoon it on top. So this is going to be really good because I've got salmon for 4 nights. Whenever I'm ready. All right. As I said, serving it up with lemon wedges. You can put some salad on the side. I've got chips coming. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Cooking with Violet Vixen. Fried salmon with creamed mushrooms. I'll catch you very soon on another adventure.